Hey peeps, how's it going? So let's just cut straight to it. Have a look round today's offering. Let me know what you think about this classic beauty. Here is the Royal Enfield 650 Interceptor. What do we think? I really like the classic look of this bike. Let's have a look round it. I'll show you the bits that I like. Again, I'm not going to go into facts and figures. If you want to see that, there's enough of that on the internet. I just want you to have a look around this bike, and I'll just talk about the key things that I like. I really like the orange paintwork. Spoke wheels at the back. Twin exhaust as well. I think that looks really good. Just looks like a classic 70s motorcycle. I do like it, you know, it's not got loads of shiny bits on the engine, it's just proper old school. Big old headlight. And then these things. What is the point? I know it fits the bike well and it looks alright, but seriously. Yeah. Just an old school speedo that we've got there. And rev meter does have a fuel gauge on here, albeit bizarrely, now the bike's not running, it's saying it's got 4 bars of fuel. As soon as you start it up, it starts flashing as empty, so that's a bit strange. No rider modes, nothing like that. It's just very basic, but it's what I like at the minute. I'm really into the classic looking bikes with not a lot of fiddling to do with them. So buttons wise, we've got the flash there for your lights, got your high beam, low beam, we've got your indicators and a horn, and then on the other side you've just got your engine cut off. You've got your start button, and that's it. No modes, nothing like that to play with. Glorious orange. Do like the way they've done the fuel cap as well, just having this to lift up. Nice little touch. And the seat, considering you've got a couple of inches there of padding, you'd expect this to be really soft, but it isn't. It's actually quite a hard seat. Now I know this is a brand new bike, so it's to be expected everything's going to be nice and plush, and maybe that will soften in time, but at the minute it's quite hard, but I like it. I am a fan of these, and as always with Royal Enfield, they're an absolute bargain. The things that these come with, generally, you would expect any other manufacturer, you'd be paying double the price. That's why I find these an absolute steal. So you can see we've got a side stand. We've also got a centre stand as well that comes with this. So I'm going to start it up, let you have a listen. This is a proper gentleman's bike. It's not overbearing with the sound, it's just nice. That'll do for the walk round. Let's get some more riding done. What did you think of that? Now, I am a massive fan of this orange colour. I think it really does suit this bike and the classic look of it. Really, really nice. Now, seating position on this, I think it's not helped the fact that I'm so small, but I do find myself kind of just leaning forward, only a touch forward, but it is noticeable. And I am quite close to, well, I'm very much right at the front of the seat as well. My crotch is rubbing on the tank, the lucky tank. There's no digital speedo, which again I've not got a problem with. I think at first TFTs and all of those came out and everybody was blown away with how magical they were, but I think we all crave that little bit of old school, and I genuinely do. I like being on bikes like this, and it does take you back to your youth, and you can just remember what it was like riding a bike where you weren't fiddling with settings and modes, and it's just very nostalgic. And you know, you can see this is as basic as they come. Speedo, revs, that's it. I mean, you'd have seen on the walk round what else it's got, but you know, there's not loads going on there. This is a proper gentleman's bike. Beauty is obviously in the eye of the beholder, of course. Say it with every single bike, personal preference and all that, but I really do like the look of these bikes. I think they look really nice. While we're on the car park, I'm going to do a little bit of a brake test. So front brake. Okay, now that front brake feels really good. Much better than the front brake that was on the last video of the Himalayan. And let's check the back brake. Yeah, the back brake's pretty good as well. Yeah, the brakes on this get the thumbs up from me. It goes through the gears really well. When you put your foot down, being short-legged, you've got your foot peg right in the way of where you put your foot down. So I've actually got one foot down in front of the foot peg and the other foot's behind it. I think if you put them both in front, it's just a bit, just doesn't feel natural. Again, that's something that's just my short leg issue. I think if you've got longer legs, it's not something that's going to bother you, but for my short legs, it's just an awkward place. Dickhead. So, do you know what? Every time I go out, did that bloke see me? No. Did he look right at me before he decided to pull out? Yes, he did. Standard. Genuinely. Some people are they're just blind to bikes. But that's why we've got to have our wits about us. What I do like about these bikes, do seem to get customized quite a lot, so you can make these bikes quite individual. If you haven't seen it already, I mean, have a look at TMF's. You know, the Missenden Flyer, he does a nice video on, in fact he does quite a few on his, because whilst he had an absolute mare getting his done, the outcome of his interceptor, it looks really nice, and it is one of a kind. You know, he's done quite a few bits to it, so I like that there's people out there doing that with these bikes to make them yours. Traffic wise for this bike, you know, it's not particularly big, as I've said, so going through the traffic is nice and easy, especially when someone at the front is faster bobos and just not noticing the light change. Well played him. And this is the first bike I've been on for a while that doesn't even have a gear indicator, so that is That does take me back to my youth of keeping forgetting what gear I'm in, and then still trying to go up gears when you're in 6th gear, and still trying to go down when you're in 1st. I think we've been spoilt. A little bit of sneaky sneaky. Claims to be able to do about 100-ish. I don't know whether I'd want to be doing 100 mile an hour on this with its lack of fairing. I think it'd be quite windy. You know, you've got this as your only bit of wind deflection, and I don't know what it's doing because I can feel the wind right in my lower part of my chest all the way up to my head. So obviously wind protection isn't there, and I'm only riding round kind of A roads, 30 mile an hour roads, so anything motorway wise I think you'd be blowing all over the place. Let's just do some sneaky sneaky right in front of that, thank you very much. A little bit uneasy in the bum region. I've only been on this bike for an hour or two, so I don't know how I'd feel if I was on it for hours and hours and hours in one day and then doing the same thing the day after. I don't know whether that would be a bit too much, but as a commuter doing a couple of miles here and there to work, as a bike to go and play on the weekend, I think it would be perfect. And again, you know, Royal Enfield, I think, have knocked it out the park with this bike, because there's a hell of a lot more things on this bike that I like than I don't. And again, for the price, you know, what is it, £6,000? You know, if you were to go out and get a BMW equivalent, you're talking probably over double what the cost of this bike is. I think it's great value for money, and it does look smart. So again, initial impressions for me on this bike, that's all we've got today. It's comfortable, it's great value for money, and if you're in the market for one of these, go and ride one. My only negative, to be fair, is just where the foot pegs and putting my feet down when we stop. I just find that the foot pegs are very much in the way, and the seat's a little bit on the hard side, but the seat you can change. So overall, I'm really happy with this bike. So that will do me for today. Thank you very much, guys, for coming back. If it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't done that already, you're very, very naughty. Come on, get your finger out, get it done, and I will catch you on the next one.